All right, welcome back to NOS Off Topic, a live stream we do on Twitch every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time. This week, everybody was gracious to ask me to host. I'm Kevin Lyons from Twin Pines Video.
I'm Chuck Chad Radwell 12. I don't know what I'm doing. Mike?
I'm Minnie. They actually have Mike there. Holy shit, that's weird. At that guy 2022 on Instagram. I don't know why it has the Twitter icon. I don't.
I barely use Twitter, and he got my name wrong too. It's Twin Pines, not Twin Pine Video.
George is dropping the ball.
He is. Oh, nice job, George.
Oh, it's not Single Pine. It's Twin Pine.
Twin Pine. It's supposed to be Twin Pines, but it's all good. I'll say it continuously throughout the stream today. But anyway, yeah, this is every Thursday they have a different lineup with a ever expanding group of nerd movie friends, and we always switch it up every week. And actually, we've never had just me, Chuck, and Minnie before. And I feel like this was planned on purpose because all three of us hate each other.
No, this is the A team. This is the A team.
We're the A team. I was gonna say the hate team. I'm just kidding. But you guys, I like to have a lot of fun with you guys, and we love talking about movies. So I figured that today we could start off with a fun game. Everybody's heard of Two Truths and a Lie. I thought it would be fun if we did two movie facts and a lie. So each one of us have to come up with two real movie facts and one fake movie fact, and we all have to guess which is which. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Minnie's gonna go first.
Before Chuck decides to throw me to the dogs anyway, like he usually does.
Well, we already talked. We said we were gonna force you to go first anyway.
Oh well, then fuck you guys. I'm all over the place. I got shit on my phone. I got shit on a notepad. Let me compile these together. All right. So, two movie facts and a lie.
Okay.
All right. When filming Blues Brothers, part of the film's budget was dedicated for getting John Belushi cocaine.
Okay.
When filming Scorpion King, The Rock was not allowed to do his own stunts due to his WWE contract.
Okay.
And Toto the dog earned more than the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
That's pretty
good.
Why?
I'm gonna go with The Rock as that's a lie.
You think that's a lie? I was almost gonna go with Toto. I think Toto earned. No, I think that one might be the lie. Yeah, I think Toto is the lie.
You think Toto is the lie?
I think Toto could be the lie.
And you think The Rock's the lie?
I think The Rock's the lie.
Because I think they definitely would have given John Belushi cocaine in the budget.
That one's true. That one's a fact.
That one's true. So the cocaine is true.
The cocaine is true.
Okay.
Toto making more money than the Munchkins was true.
Oh, dang. You got it. You got it. All right, cool. So since you got it, Chuck, you can do the next round.
Yeah, I feel like that one was a lie because I don't know. Was it the Mummy 2 or the Scorpion King? Which one did you say? Okay,
I said the Scorpion
I'm gonna say no with that one, obviously because I think WWE produced that film, so I think they were probably like, "Fuck it, he's still doing our shit, so let's let him do his own stunts."
Yeah.
That was my logic on that.
Yeah, I was almost gonna go with that one, but
no, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. Cross those off so I don't use them again.
Which one of these movies was not based on a true story?
Ooh, okay. I almost went, and that was almost one of my topics for today is like movies inspired by true stories. But okay, so so you're saying you have three of them. Which one is not based off of a true story? Right. Okay.
So the first one is The Blob. The second one is Child's Play. And the third one is Jaws.
Ooh. Well, I know Jaws was based off of the New Jersey incidents.
Yeah, Jaws was based on a real story,
The
or at least
Blob,
inspired by a true story.
which one?
So Jaws was at least inspired by a true
No,
story.
yeah, it was inspired by a true story. I think so. The Blob and then Chucky. I feel like Child's Play would be more of a true story than the Blob. Like, I'm gonna go with the Blob. The Blob was definitely not inspired by a true story.
I feel the Blob is so ridiculously out there that it has to be true. I want to say that Child's Play was the one that wasn't inspired by any sort of true events.
Okay, so based on my research, which is not
It's not research at all. You mean like a 5-second Google search?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Blob is based on a true story. In Philadelphia, there was someone said they thought they saw a flying saucer, and the cops went to go investigate, and they saw a mysterious object fall from the sky. Rushing towards the landing site, they stumbled upon a purple jelly-like mass, which then just evaporated. And then that was in 1950. So then 1957, he couldn't come up with a premise, Jack Harris. So he went looking for shit, and he found the Blob. So,
have you seen the original Blob movie?
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago.
Dude, the 80s Blob is the best by far.
I was gonna say that one. George Clooney's in the Killer Tomatoes. Who's in the Blob?
You mean the 80s Blob? Kevin Dillon. Kevin Dillon.
Dillon.
Oh no, you mean the original Blob?
The 80s one.
The 80s one, Kevin Dillon, and the girl, she was also like Saw's sidekick. You know the Saw movies? What was his name? Jigsaw. Remember his sidekick, the girl?
Yeah.
I believe that she was the actress who was also in the 80s Blob. But that one was, yeah. I mean, the 80s. I mean, we're old now.
Kurt Russell was the thing, right?
We're in our 20s, though.
Remember, we saw her at Monsterpalooza.
That's right. That's right.
She was the first one there. She was the first one there at the the first celebrity you could see when you walked in. It was a girl from Saw, but she was also in the 80s Blob, and what else? She was in another big 80s movie, Summer School. Do you remember Summer School?
I love Summer School.
Okay, yeah, she was the pregnant girl in Summer School.
Oh, she's the pregnant. Wait, okay. And then the dude that was in the bathroom for a whole summer, he scored the highest.
Hey, Mr. Shoop. I always loved those two guys that loved horror movies, and they put on the nasty makeup in the class to scare the shit out of the new teacher. But anyway, all right. So the Blob was inspired by a true story.
Right. So
I also feel like Child's Play could have also been inspired by a true story. Everybody's had a toy that inexplicably turned on in the middle of the night and scared the crap out of them.
Yeah, it was. In 1909, Key West painter and author Robert Eugene claimed that one of his family servants placed a voodoo curse on his child toy, Robert the Doll, and it would mysteriously move from room to room.
So wait.
So which one's the fake one?
Then which one's the fake one?
When I saw that Jaws was based on a book.
Yeah, but the incident was
inspired by the New Jersey events.
Yeah,
that's not
obviously Jaws was a book adaptation. Yeah, obviously Jaws was a book adaptation. I don't know if the book was directly inspired by the events in New Jersey, but I know that it had something to do with the writer. I remember the writer. He was it Peter Benchley, right?
Yeah, Peter Benchley.
Yeah, I remember. I guess he was down on his luck because he couldn't sell anything, and he was sitting on the beach, and he just remember looking out into the water and was like, "Oh man, what if like a shark came here and just wouldn't leave, would just terrorize the town and wouldn't leave people."
Wouldn't leave.
Yeah, and apparently also another fun fact about Jaws. Apparently, before they got Spielberg to direct Jaws, they had another A-list director lined up, but they fired him because he kept on calling the shark a fish or a whale. And it's funny because I read Jaws for the first time this last summer, and it was so funny because even in the book, the writer kept on referring to it as a fish.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm like,
Oh,
I
that's
kept on imagining a giant goldfish just attacking all these people. It was funny.
That
All
director's
right.
like, I got fired for that shit, and I was just going by the book material.
All right, so
We were-
now we're up to me. Now we're up to me. All right, this one is actually I just chose one movie, and I have 3 facts for this movie. Okay, I'm going to choose Back to the Future.
Of course.
All right, and this is all going to be what the original scripts in production was for Back to the Future. Marty McFly's last name was originally McDermott, not McFly. Einstein the dog was originally a chimpanzee named Shemp. Or the studio head proposed the name for Back to the Future to be changed to Spaceman from Mars.
I'm gonna go with the first one. That's false.
Marty McFly's last name was originally McDermott.
Yeah.
You think that? Okay. What about you, Minnie?
I know the last one is true.
The studio had proposed the name Back to the
Yeah.
Future to be changed to Spaceman from Mars.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that one's true. I remember hearing something like that. I'm gonna say the chimpanzee.
You think the chimpanzee?
I think Einstein.
Oh, let me tell you.
Chimpanzee was false.
The Einstein the dog was originally a chimpanzee
Damn it.
named Shemp, but the studio did not want to work with chimpanzees because they're incredibly difficult. And then they tried to change it to an orangutan. They're like, nah. They're like, all right, it's a dog.
Well, it's just every which way but loose.
Mhm. They actually referenced that when they were trying to argue it, and they're like, no. Like, still no. And so Chuck, what do you say?
I said
You said that McDermott.
Yeah.
I had never really heard that, but when I was looking on the internet today, it was McDermott was one of the original last names for it. And I threw a fast one on you guys because the studio head did propose a different name. I said Spaceman from Mars, but he actually said Spaceman from Pluto.
Dude.
Because that was the comic,
Yeah, the comic right?
From the 50s. And he said that he thought the name Back to the Future was way too confusing. And he goes, nobody's going to get it. Go Back to the Future. And so he wanted to change it to the name of what was on the comic, Spaceman from Pluto.
In the comic shows up in the 50s, right? Not
the comic is in the 50s. So he crash lands on Mr. Peabody's farm, who it was called Twin Pines Ranch. And his son had a comic book. So when the DeLorean crashed into the barn and they all ran out there, they saw Marty in the getup with the thing, and he pulled out the cover, and he sees a spaceman wearing the same thing getting out of a UFO. But if you also look at that UFO straight on, it does look like a DeLorean with the door open up. They made the saucer look like the DeLorean.
Okay, because I was wondering, because I haven't seen it in a while. I'm like, wait, I remember the comic, but I was wondering if the comic came out, like maybe he saw the comic in the 80s and it was based on him from in the 50s. Like maybe that kid became a writer, right?
No, that doesn't line up. But at the end of the movie, when he changes, the past and he goes back in the future and his dad wrote the book, is like a match made in space. It had Marty in that outfit. Because remember how he woke his dad up in the middle of the night. I'm Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. So that was in in the 80s because of the events that Marty did in the past. All right, so cool. All right, so Mike, you got another round?
I got another round. All right.
Okay, cool.
So I'm all over the place. Let me get everything lined up. Okay. Where is it? There we go. Okay. So, the Matrix code, the green lettering that's coming down in the Matrix.
Okay.
It was undecipherable. The reason it's undecipherable is because it's just characters from a sushi cookbook. So the Matrix code,
wouldn't it just be whatever it said in sushi?
The Matrix code is just sushi recipes. Yeah.
Okay.
In The Godfather, the scene when Marlon Brando has the cat was a stray that Marlon Brando just found while walking to the scene and just picked up and was petting.
Okay.
Did he find it
So
from
it wasn't actually.
no?
What was that?
Nothing.
Doesn't matter.
And then We got in the last Mission Impossible, when Tom Cruise broke his leg, he had to have 2 steel rods attached to his leg so he could continue filming.
I know that. I think the sushi thing I heard before. I didn't know that about the kitty and Marlon Brando. Well, we don't know if it's a fact yet. We don't know. This is the quiz.
This is 2 movie facts and a lie, Ronnie. They got to figure out which one's the lie.
So I think the steel rods with Tom Cruise is fake, because I know that he did break his ankle, but I wasn't sure if they added rods. But Marlon Brando grabbing the kitty sounds true, and I know that the Matrix code. I thought I heard something like that from a sushi restaurant. It was stuff from a sushi restaurant. So I'm gonna go with the steel rods, because I know that he busted his foot, but I don't know if he got steel rods put in.
I'm gonna go with sushi.
Sushi is a fact.
I knew it.
It's actually a sushi recipe. The Tom Cruise getting steel rods was fake.
But he did bust his leg. He did
break his leg, but he didn't need. It wasn't bad enough that he needed steel rods.
Okay.
You know what? I saw him like laughing too, and I'm like, he's fucking lying about that one. But I don't know.
Well,
did you ever see the like the behind the scenes for when he did that shot? You mean talking about when he's jumping from building to building, right?
Yeah.
That one shot.
Yeah, when he like missed the building and he just grabs on and he broke his leg there.
Yeah, you can see the instant where it breaks, and then he gets up, and you see him hobble off, but he still kept on running in character. And I'm like, hey, you got to hand it to him. I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but like I got to hand it to him. You know, he just kept on going.
All right, you ready? Which one of these is false? You ready,
Okay.
Ronnie? All right. The original title for Texas Chainsaw Massacre was supposed to be Head Cheese.
Head cheese.
For Candyman.
Wait, are you talking about the title of the movie or the title of the character?
The movie.
The movie, okay.
Yeah.
Head cheese.
Yeah, Head Cheese. Tony Todd, Candyman.
Okay.
And seeing the climax, he had to put real bees in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Or was The Exorcist the first horror movie to be nominated for Best Picture? Which one is false?
I think the Cheesehead one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that's one, because I thought I heard that The Exorcist was the first one to be nominated, but I forget. That was the only one that rang a bell to me. What was the other one? What was the second one?
Yeah.
The last one. The last one.
The Exorcist was the last one. The second one was Tony Todd had to put real bees in his mouth.
I think that is true. I know that's true.
That's true. I know that.
Cheesehead. The first Cheesehead is the original title for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I think Cheesehead is fake.
I'm going with Cheesehead too.
You guys are both wrong.
Oh, really?
Yes, because they're all true.
Dude, what the? You woke up today and chose violence.
You're the worst person to play games with.
He's like going straight Jigsaw on us. All right, dude. Actually, it was cool. Tony Todd playing Candyman. He made it part of his contract because he was working with real bees. That for every bee sting, he would get like $2,000 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, and he ended up walking away with like a shit ton of money because they weren't like, oh yeah, he's not going to get stung, but he got stung a whole bunch of times, and he made bank.
Yeah,
he made bank off that.
That shit's smart. Chuck, I'm never playing a game with you again. I'm keeping your version of the thing. I'm never giving it back to you.
This is the second round where all the movies were true. All the facts were true.
Got him.
I'll give some leeway to him on the first one because he just didn't do research.
Yeah, he didn't know. He just thought it was based off the book.
It just,
not well enough.
Not enough.
It was based on a fucking book.
Well, I mean, it was adapted from the book, but the book was inspired by real events.
I didn't see that. I didn't go that far.
Yeah. Yeah. Limited research. All right, Ken,
nobody's been bit by a fucking shark before, dude. Like,
yeah, see? Everybody has. Haven't you?
Worst game player ever.
Okay.
Most
All right, so
entertaining game player ever, but not best.
all right, we'll get into my next round, and this one is just going to be all Star Wars. This round for me is all Star Wars. Okay.
Better be Jar Jar Binks in there.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks was originally transgender.
Which is good, which is fine. We love transgender.
No, we don't even know what his gender was. All right, so Star Wars. I have two facts and one lie. All right. R2D2 originally spoke English and was actually a jerk. That's the first one. The second one, the original ending for Return of the Jedi had Luke turn evil into the dark side. 3, Yoda was originally a 7-foot tall alien, but was later changed to a small puppet to save production time for makeup.
Now, if I want to say Yoda, are your facts factual? Like if I say, oh, Yoda, and be like, nope, they just changed it because they thought it would be cooler if it was small.
You mean the reasoning? I won't reveal anything until after you have guessed.
Well, because I don't want to say Yoda, and then you'd be like, actually, it's not true. It wasn't for budget reasons. It was because they just thought it was cooler.
Well, look at my first round when I was talking about Back to the Future. I said spaceman from Mars, but really it was spaceman from Pluto.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I might throw some chicks. And look at you. You gave me all truths, dude. Who are you to question me?
What Chuck made me lose. What were your two?
Okay, so it was R2D2. R2D2 originally spoke English and was a jerk. The original ending for Return of the Jedi had Luke turn evil, or Yoda was originally a 7-foot tall alien, but was later changed to a small puppet to save production makeup time. Yoda was recruited. You see him jumping around in episode 2. Come on.
I'm gonna go with Yoda.
You go with Yoda
because I don't necessarily know if R2D2 was a jerk when he spoke English, but I know that him being able to speak was part of the original idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Yoda.
You're gonna go Yoda. What are you gonna go with, Chuck?
I'm gonna go with Luke.
Luke. All right. So Minnie, you won. Because Yoda was never originally a 7-foot tall alien, but originally Yoda. They were gonna get a chimpanzee, a monkey, in a costume to play Yoda, and I'm not too sure why they didn't do that. But he was originally going to be like a monkey in a costume.
Why does everyone want chimpanzees? They will rip your fucking face off.
Maybe he probably would. That'd be an interesting twist on The Empire Strikes Back.
Did you guys see Nope?
No.
I started watching it the other night and I fell asleep, and I fell asleep right on the third act when they were kind of revealing what everything was, and I'm so mad I fell asleep. I have to watch it. But I was liking what I was watching so far. I just passed out during Nope. Why was it a 7-foot tall alien? He's like, maybe I'll catch up with it tonight.
Who was defeated by water?
Oh, that was the Mel Gibson one. Yeah. With what was his name?
Science.
With M. Night Shyamalan. You know what's crazy? You know M. Night Shyamalan wrote She's All That?
Yeah, knew that.
I did not know that. That's hilarious. Why didn't that have a twist ending?
What a twist! You guys ever watch Robot Chicken?
Yeah, I mean I've seen clips of it, but
that M. Night Shyamalan, literally every word that M. Night Shyamalan said is "What a twist!"
All right, Minnie, do you have any other ones?
Yeah, I can do one more.
Okay, I got one more too, but you go ahead.
Okay, so the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Before Ben Affleck was cast, Ryan Gosling was considered for the role.
Okay.
So we almost got a Ryan Gosling Daredevil.
I just think that's the lie, but keep going.
Psycho was the first U.S. film to feature a flushing toilet.
That is 100% true.
And in Poltergeist, the scene where she's swimming through the pool of dead bodies, They were not props. They were actual human remains.
That is unconfirmed.
I think that one was confirmed.
I don't think. Well, I definitely not false. I mean, it's definitely not true. There wasn't. It wasn't bodies, but I think it's the first one. I think I'm going to go with Ryan Gosling.
Okay,
I know it was rumored in Poltergeist that they used dead bodies because they look incredibly real. They really do, especially for that time. But
yeah, I think that I watched something on Shudder.
the twist was when she took her glasses off and suddenly became hot. That was the real dead body that they used in the movie.
I don't have my sunglasses on right now. Damn it! I knew I was missing something.
I'm going with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that is the lie. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it was confirmed that I don't think they used real dead bodies for the Poltergeist. That was a rumor for the longest time. But was it confirmed that they did?
Everything that I found was that the skeletons were actual human skeletons because at the time they were cheaper to get than the.
Yeah. Well, that I don't know if that was. I knew that was for the like. What was one of the oldest horror movies that they would use skeletons? Like the doctor's office would buy skeletons, like actual skeletons. You ever go in a doctor's office and you see a skeleton hanging? Those are real skeletons, and they would use those for movies. But I don't know if they use those skeletons for the base bodies of.
When I was looking for it, I didn't find anything saying that it didn't happen, so I put that down as my fact.
I saw the interview with the prop dude, and he was talking about it, and he was like, "It was cheaper to do that. I'm not saying we did or didn't, but I'm saying if we did, it was cheaper." And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's what he said.
Probably skeletons, but I don't know. I saw that was featured on the episode. It's on a series on Shudder.
Yeah,
what was it called? Cursed Films. Cursed Films.
Yeah, that's when he said it. He's like,
that's where I saw that too.
Yeah. So he didn't deny.
Yeah. Well, because also in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disney, one of the skullfishes.
What?
Whatever, however you want to fucking say it, Chuck. I'm going to pronounce it however I want. But yeah, there's a skull fixture that's an actual human skull, not a prop skull.
Dang. Yeah. I mean, it's Disney.
The happiest place on earth.
Of course, they use real dead bodies.
You guys like Disneyland?
It's all right.
I've been there once, and mainly just the Star Wars stuff, and then we did the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then we went to
Caribbean.
Pirates or wherever you want, Chuck. All right. And then we went to the Haunted Mansion, and we waited in line for
right when we were about to get in
for like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been meaning to go back. I'd love to go to Disney.
That's on my list to go back. I still got to get back to Universal Studios too.
Yeah, Universal.
Dude, we should go to Horror Nights.
I've never been to Horror Nights.
That was pretty good.
I've never been to Horror Nights. That'd be fun. I've never done it.
I can get us tickets.
What's that?
They can get us tickets.
I can get us front of the line tickets for free.
Well, you got to bring Dan because they're having Killer Clowns from Outer Space at Horror Nights this year.
Well, fuck Dan. He was on here and now he's not.
Yeah.
I think
we got one more round of 2 movie facts and a lie. I got it. I don't know if do you have any more, Chuck, or was that it? That was it.
No, you go ahead. I had like 8 more, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. This is my last set, and this is off of the movie Halloween.
Okay.
All right. For John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween, a Star Trek Spock mask. Let me say that again. A Star Trek Spock mask was once considered for Michael Myers, but they eventually went with Captain Kirk. Number 2, Jamie Lee Curtis almost played the part of Annie, but was ultimately cast as Laurie Strode. And Halloween was almost named The Babysitter Murders.
What was the middle one? I missed that.
Jamie Lee Curtis almost played the part of Annie, but was ultimately cast as Laurie Strode because her mom was Janet Leigh from Psycho, and they wanted the name.
I'm going Spock.
You're going Spock? You think that's the lie? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Minnie? Is he frozen? Are you looking up the answers, you dick?
No, I'm not looking up the answers.
You not have enough RAM to
I was looking at my fake movie facts, and I was debating on telling you guys, but I might leave him to Jose for his Nas made up fact.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um,
which one? Which one do you think it is? Which one is the fake one?
the last one sound like I remember hearing something like that, but
What, the babysitter murders?
yeah, or at least
Okay.
like Halloween wasn't the original name. But based on what you did with the first round, you probably changed what the title was, even though Halloween wasn't the original title.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go the last one. Halloween wasn't the original title; it was the Babysitter Murders.
And Chuck, you're going with the Spock mask?
Yeah.
You're both wrong. Those are both facts. The lie was that Jamie Lee Curtis was always going to be Laurie Strode because of the fact that her mom was Jamie Lee Janet Leigh from Psycho. But she was never considered to play Annie. She was always going to be Laurie. But the Star Trek Spock thing is true because they went down. They couldn't create a mask from scratch. They had to. They went down to a mask store and they found a Spock mask. They saw a Captain Kirk mask, and I think one of them was what was the old clown? Something Kelly. I forget the sad face clown, the famous sad face clown. I forget, but that was
Machine Gun
originally.
Kelly?
What's that?
Machine Gun Kelly?
No, yeah, Machine Gun Kelly in the
Art
70s.
He is
Kelly?
a fucking clown. He
Art
is a
Kelly?
fucking clown.
Yeah, and so they eventually went with Captain Kirk's because it didn't really look like Captain Kirk. And so they just put out the eyes, they ripped up the hair and spray painted it white. But anyway, yeah. So that was it for me. So does anybody else have any other facts and a lie?
I got
future stuff, man. Oh no, wait. Oh, he's got
I have
one?
2 more facts, but I don't have a lie.
No, all right, then we'll just go on
I got
to
some-
the main topic of today is you guys put me in charge and I wanted to talk about my favorite genre of movies, which is time travel. So we're talking about time travel for the rest of this podcast tonight. And there were so many awesome time travel movies, and I didn't even realize like how many there were until I was researching this. There were so many time travel movies, and I just felt like that would be an excellent topic for tonight. So I thought it would be really cool if instead of just listing off our favorite time travel, there it is. I got one too.
Where's yours, Minnie? Where's yours? Loser. That's why nobody likes you.
I got Wolverine. That counts for something, right? Wolverine.
I mean, he just lives throughout all time, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway, I wanted
he goes back in time in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way.
Mhm.
It counts.
Well, that brings us to one topic that I want to do about time travel is just your favorite method of time travel, whether it's a time machine or a way that they go back in time that's been used in a movie. So, Chuck, let's start with you. What is some of your favorite methods of time travel, whether it's a time machine or something else? So,
I like that. Days of Future Past, where they put his conscience into his body for what was it, like 50 years or something? I don't even remember, but
yeah, I think it was like in the 60s or 70s. I think it was in the 70s.
Yeah, 70 years or something then, right? Like, so that was awesome. I would like to do that. I would like to put my conscious now into my body in like high school or something. So like, or junior high when the teacher touched me and stuff, like weirdly, like I would be able to like really defend myself. Like,
no, like if you knew now what you knew.
If I knew now what I knew, what I would have known then, I wouldn't have let them touch me, and I wouldn't have did all that stuff with them, you know.
Well, that method of time travel has been used before, and I actually think that makes the most sense because you don't need any technology. You're just traveling back in time in your mind because they use that in the butterfly effect too. You ever see the butterfly effect?
That's right, he does.
That was a really
on the stepdad or something, right?
What's that?
Doesn't he go off on the stepdad or the dad or something like
no,
that?
No, his dad also had that same power. So he would have blackouts throughout his life. And his therapist told him to write that down in a journal whenever he had a blackout to help him remember those things. And so he would write it down in a journal. And then when he grew up, when he stopped having them, he would look into his journal whenever he had a blackout. And if he looked at it long enough, he would go back into his time. And the blackouts were him time traveling into his former consciousness. And I'm like, that was a really cool, interesting method of time traveling.
that movie's underrated. If it wasn't for Ashton
Oh.
Kutcher, that probably would have been a great movie if they would have had somebody else.
I didn't mind. That was one of the movies I didn't even mind. I didn't mind him that much in, and
But he
like
was
that is
okay.
that is an underrated movie. I can't believe people don't talk about it more. And they made like 3 sequels to that.
Yeah, right. I didn't see any of them. I just saw the first one.
Okay.
I didn't see
And then
any of them.
another one of my
including the
favorites
first
is.
one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying I didn't see any of them, including the first one.
Okay.
The Arrival.
Ooh, okay. The Arrival spaceships.
Yeah, with the girl.
Does this mean girl? I don't know. Does this mean girl?
Chuck's using Tuscan sign
Oh,
language.
you mean like when that was just the communication? I'm talking about the
No, I
method.
know, but that was how they perceived time, as a circle, right? It wasn't a straight line.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing, like a circle.
Oh, I have to rewatch that.
I thought you were doing a Venn diagram.
No, and so that's how she was able to stop the war, because everything was a circle.
Yeah.
Like she had to call like the general from like China or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, how do I have his number? But she was able to circle back to the future when he was like, here's my number.
To the future.
He's like, hold on. Back to the future. Hold on. Does yours light up, Kevin?
Mine does not light up because it's the time machine from the first one.
But anyways, I like that idea of time and how they did time travel, but it was in a circle. So
I liked.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I liked the Edge of Tomorrow, where it's like you keep on it like that video game save point. You keep on living your experiences, but you always go back to that point, but you still remember everything that you did.
So that's like the Groundhog Day method of time travel.
Yeah,
which I think is cool because they use that in Happy Death Day. Did you ever see Happy Death Day? That was a good. I actually like that. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I like that idea of relive it, the save point video game thing. But I can see how that can get boring after a while. But it. I mean, because I remember Groundhog Day got a lot of bad reviews when it first came out. But I actually don't think it's a bad movie. It really does take good filmmaking to actually make the retelling and what you're doing with all that information interesting. But I really like Edge of Tomorrow. That was a really good. I think weren't they supposed to be doing a sequel to that?
Yeah, they are. But going back to Groundhog's Day, I was actually just listening to another podcast where they had on a guest who literally wrote a self-help book entirely based on Groundhog's Day, like the lessons learned from Groundhog's Day.
Oh man.
And like the living in the moment, like what it means to live. And like he actually got in contact with the writer of the movie and was talking about all like the philosophical and religious connections to Groundhog's Day and how you can use that to better yourself in every day. So whether it got shitty reviews at the time or not, like it's got a lot of like good messages in it.
Yeah. That movie bored me. What Kevin was saying, like it did bore me. Yeah, I don't like Groundhog Day. I'm done after like 30 minutes. I'm like,
I like the concept of it, but that's not my favorite reliving the same day moment over and over again. There are no other podcasts, just Nas. Yeah. Okay, King. All right, Daniel.
Tomorrow.
But what would you say is your favorite time machine out of a movie? Has to be. I mean, for me, it's obviously the DeLorean. I think that's just obvious. But I would like to give an honorary mention of Bill and Ted's phone booth.
I was gonna say, like, if it's just the time machine, I like the phone booth.
Mm-hmm. Bill and Ted. There you go.
There you go.
It's funny because what you didn't know is that it's not actually a phone booth. If you go back and you watch the original movie, the opening credits shows like this weird shape thing in the future and is being like brought down, and when it lands on the ground, it transforms into a phone booth just for Bill and Ted. Okay, dude.
Right.
Can we time travel back and not put that homosexual idea of Bill and Ted together, please?
Yeah, there's a comic book like that. I gave it to somebody where they're able to stop time when they have sex orgasms. You guys know this comic?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
What's it called? I have it. I'll get it later. Yeah. And they're they rob banks, this couple, but they have to have sex, and when they orgasm, time stops.
Is that the one you gave me for my birthday?
No. That's a different one. That one's good too. Thanks for not reading it.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna read anything.
Find that comic because I'd be interested in reading that.
It's so fucking good, dude. It's so good. I have it. I'll show you later.
All right. So to keep things going with time travel movies, and something that I love about them, every movie has different time travel rules, right? Which rules of a movie do you find to make the most sense or the least sense or confuse you the most? Like which one do you feel makes the most sense with time travel? That's made up fact.
I think, and this is a more recent movie, Adam's Project makes the most sense for time travel rules, where as long as you're back in time, you remember everything from your future, but people who are there, that's changing for them. So as soon as you go back, you forget everything from your previous life. But while you're still in the process of changing the future, you remember your life and what the future is like.
Don't fuck your mom. Best time travel rule. I agree. I agree. Yeah, for me, I mean, I actually did an episode on this for my show, Twin Pines Video, when we're talking about the Terminator time travel rules. And one of the things that confused me the most is that they set it up that only organic matter could travel through the time field, which is why everybody's naked when they time travel. But the T-1000 is liquid metal. And so when he time travels, does his liquid metal turn into actual skin? That was one of the things that actually confused me about that movie. I always thought about that since I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember helping you film that one. That was a good point.
How would you explain that though? How can the T-1000 time travel?
Like it can't metal molecularly change its molecules like to represent organic tissue, can it?
I don't know. That's what I want to know more about that. But whatever. That was one of the things that I always found that always just made me think about time travel rules. Yeah. Yes, Chuck. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So in Avengers Endgame, right? They time travel.
Yeah.
And they have an argument, right? Where they're like, I was like, wait, so Back to the Future is bullshit? Hot Tub Time is bullshit? I don't understand what they're saying when they explain time travel. Can you explain that for me?
Okay.
So they're talking, and it comes into a clearer picture when the Hulk is talking to the Sorcerer Supreme. How when you go back in time, if you remove something or change something, you create a different timeline.
Well,
but theoretically, the way that they're saying that is if you go back to that exact same point and put it back, the timeline never changes.
But when she was explaining that wasn't about timeline. That was about just being disrupted because it needs the time stones to exist all at one time. If you remove the time stone from that point in time, that means one of the Infinity Stones is missing. So all of reality would collapse, not because they're messing with time. It's because they removed one of the time stones from the exact moment, because it would be gone from existence.
The whole separate timeline that they drew.
Well, that's because that's because the Infinity Stone is missing because he takes it from the future. And then he goes, not if we time travel back to the instant it was taken, and then you would never have that lapse where it's going to go to evil. But what Chuck is talking about, so the way that they explained it was that if you go back in time and you try to change something, you're just changing the future from that point in time, creating another alternate reality. And so you wouldn't be changing the reality that you're in, that you're coming from. So I like what they said is that you actually just go back and you take the stuff and go to the future and then you change things. But the way they explained it was a little confusing. But the best way that I can explain it is how Doc explained it from Back to the Future too. And I've talked about this for a long time. That, when he draws the diagram on the board, he goes, here's our timeline. At some point, Biff went back and he changed and it skewed out to this other alternate 1985, right? That's true because every time you time travel, you literally break the timeline in two. And I forget who's the Asian scientist with the long white hair. He's a famous scientist. He was talking about it, that actually physically going through time automatically creates an alternate reality. So when Marty traveled back to the 50s and he changed all that stuff, and his dad became successful. He didn't change he just changed the future he just made an alternate reality. So there's still another reality where Marty is missing, Doc is dead because he's been shot, and he just created a completely different timeline. And so when they had to change it in part 2, it's like, oh, it's evil 1985. We got to go back and change it. I'm like, well, yeah, but you're still living in an alternate universe because Marty changed it in the first movie. It's really crazy when you think about it.
So there's not one timeline then. Now there's alternate timelines,
You're
right?
making it. Yeah, as soon as you time travel, you automatically make an alternate timeline, even if you don't change anything. The physical act of ripping through the time like splits it off into two alternate timelines.
Kev, if I say the name of the physicist, would you know it?
Yeah, it begins with an M.
Yeah, Michio Kaku.
Yeah. He was talking about how for time travel, time travel isn't difficult, but it's jumping between alternate timelines. See, that's what Doc and Marty have to do, because Marty really is lost in an alternate timeline. He just moved to another timeline. His original timeline is still existing. So there's a timeline where Marty McFly is missing and Doc is dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Wait, put that in there. There it is.
So he's missing because he's fucking.
He went back to the 50s and he changed time, creating a different timeline. And now then he goes to the future of that timeline where his dad is successful, but there's still another timeline where he's missing because he time traveled back and Doc was shot. He didn't have the bulletproof vest. And so there's a whole timeline where Marty is fucking missing. Doc is dead. And terrorists crashed into a photo booth at the Twin Pines Mall. Anyway.
So when people go missing now.
Huh?
When people go missing and they're never found, is it safe to assume they're time travelers?
Dude, that's not a bad idea. I will take that.
That's the entire premise of Looper, which is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, that's so good.
Because like Looper, the whole premise of it is like when you want somebody assassinated, you don't kill them in your timeline. You send them back in time, and somebody kills them there.
Because they can't dispose of bodies in the future.
Which is so fucking stupid.
That was the reason for time travel in Looper. Yeah, it was literally to murder people.
But it's like because just going into it, trying to like move, or well, not trying to, but moving forward, like I liked that theory of time travel, like that reasoning for time travel. You weren't trying
to murder people and get rid of bodies.
Well, like it's new. You're not going back trying to change anything. You're not trying to go to the future to see what's going on. Time travel is literally a business. Mm-hmm. We send this person back. You kill them. You dispose them. You get paid. That's it. Nobody's going to the future to try to change anything. Nobody's going into the past to try to change anything. It's just a transactional thing. Go back in time, kill them, nothing changes. The timeline's still going to be the same in the future because the person's already lived their life 30, 40, 50 years into the future.
That makes the most sense because it really localizes the paradoxes, because there's only a small amount of people know about what's happening.
Until Bruce Willis survives and fucks everything up.
With his eye drugs, starts taking eye drugs. Another honorary mention for time travel rules. Do you guys remember Time Cop?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
There was something that I liked about that is like, because they address it in like Back to the Future, when like if you see yourself from a different time, you instantly go into shock because your particles don't want to create a paradox or something like that. But in Time Cop, that if you touch yourself, like if you time travel and you touch yourself, the same matter can't occupy the same space. And so like you just like basically melt into each other and implode. And I just thought, I don't know if that's true, but I just thought that would be badass if that was real.
You know, going into the older thing, like you can't occupy the same space. They touched on that in Umbrella Academy with number 5.
I'm not caught up on that.
But I mean, even in the did you see the second season at least?
No, I only saw the first season.
Oh, well then, spoilers. Fuck, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Shit.
All right. Yeah, we've been going for a while. Let's keep this going. What has been some of your favorite use of time travel in a movie, like as part of the story?
I mean, I already mentioned Looper.
Looper. Okay. Well,
I
Chuck,
like
I remember you said you wanted to mention something about that later.
Yeah, I think it was The Arrival, which I already did.
Well, okay.
You got to watch it again, dude. It's so good. Like,
I will watch it again. I remember liking it until the reveal, and I was just like, but that's just me.
yeah, no, but sometimes like you're disappointed because you're expecting something bigger or grander, or I don't know. But then once you already know, you go back and you know how it was better for me the second time around than the third.
Yeah.
Or something.
I have to check
But
it out.
whatever. I'm telling you, I'm still obsessed with
Donnie Darko. I knew you were gonna do Donnie Darko. What
Donnie
was their
Darko.
time travel method in that? I haven't seen it in so long. How did they use time travel in that movie?
a plane like engine or something that went through like the thing, right? It was time travel was the tube shit that would come out of people.
Yeah, that's right. It's almost like in Red Dead Redemption 2 when you can sense where the animals went, when you use the tracking sense and you can see. That's right. Okay. I forgot about that. And what's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal is the one that figured it out, right?
Yeah, he figures it out, and then he time travels, and he realizes that the reality he was in was all fucked up. It was all fucked up, and people died. And he realized, like, oh, if I kind of martyr myself, everybody will be happy, everything will be cool, everything will be chill. And so he knows the engine's gonna fall from that plane, and so he just fucking stays in bed, and then it kills him.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I would say one of my other sorry, somebody's ringing on my doorbell. I don't know who's here, but I'm not answering it. One of my favorite uses of time travel in a movie is Back to the Future 2, because that's the first time that you're able to go back into the first movie. When you go to a sequel, the reason why you go to sequel is because you want to see the characters from the original movie, and they came up with the idea of going back into the first movie and seeing it from a different angle. And that was like my personal favorite use of time travel in a movie, because you get to see your favorite movie again, but from a different angle.
And which part was it at the dance?
That was at the dance, because they go into the future in 2015, and then they realize that Biff stole the almanac and he went back to 1955. But in the original version of the script, Bob Gale wrote that they went into the 60s when Marty McFly's dad was a professor. And then Robert Zemeckis is like, nah, like, why don't we just go back into the first movie? We can do something that nobody else can do, is go back into the original first movie. And I thought that was one of the coolest uses of time travel in a movie. Anyway, all right, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end here. So I just wanted to ask you guys a question each. If you could go back in time travel and witness a historical event, what would you go and see? It doesn't have to be a historical event, but if you could go back in time and witness something, what would you want to go see in time travel to? Dinosaurs? That's on there for me. I definitely want to see what a dinosaur looks like.
Oh,
because we don't know, because we have the skeletons, but we don't know what they actually look like.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. I would want to see dinosaurs. I don't know. I know that's kind of hello.
I would love to go back and witness 2 historical events: the JFK assassination.
I thought that too.
I would want to go back, but I also want the ability to like freeze time and rewind back and see it from different angles and see where everything was happening. And the Roswell crash. I would definitely want to see what exactly happened.
Crucifixion of Christ too. What's the matter with you, Kevin?
No, it's okay. It's in the Bible. It's 100% true. So I don't need to witness it. Nah, yeah, that's what it would be for me.
All right.
What about you, Minnie?
This is gonna be the nerd in me, like not nerd because we're all fucking nerds, but like the geek, like just going back in time to see the library of Alexandria before it was burned down, like because it was supposed to be the largest library in the fucking world.
You wouldn't be able to fucking read it, dude. None of that shit was in English. What are you gonna do?
Like, just the largest.
Minnie.
If we can grab it, like if I. What are the rules? Can I grab something and like fucking bring it back and fucking learn to translate it? Like, Imagine
You
how
know
much
what?
shit was fucking lost in that. fucking
Invalid.
library.
You're going back with me. We're gonna look at dinosaurs. Okay.
Yeah, go back and look at dinosaurs or watch a president get assassinated. Either one is cooler than going to the fucking
I want to see the
library.
library. Sorry, dude.
Hey, I needed to pick something different. Two, that's a fucking interesting fact. The largest like source of knowledge in the world just fucking destroyed. Like, imagine how much further our society would be if that library wasn't destroyed.
See, and here's where you fuck up because you're trying to change the past. You're trying to change shit. We
Yeah.
just want to witness something. Me and Chuck, we just want to see something.
What the fuck's
not
the point
fuck
going
with
back in time if you can't change shit?
Just to
just wanna
witness
see where
it.
my
Did you learn nothing from time travel movies?
No!
Don't change anything, you idiot.
I want to change
Oh, man.
everything.
He's gonna
I
go
just
back
wanna
and
see
look
it.
at one of the books. He's gonna come back. All of a sudden, everybody's got like fucking dildos on their head or something like that. Like,
I just want to see where my chicken nuggets were created from. Okay, fuck, dude.
all right. I think we've
Fucking dino
exhausted this
nuggets.
topic. Anyway, you guys, I've had such a fun time talking about time travel. It's one of my favorite genres in a movie. And we could go on forever. And I'm sure that we could even have multiple episodes about time travel because I know Dan and Jose definitely wanted to jump on and talk about time travel. But you know, that's all of our time for today. Make sure you guys follow Not a Strong Start on Instagram and Twitter with the same handle, Not a Strong Start. And tune in next week on Twitch every Thursday, 5:30 Pop Couture. We got our live stream, Nas Off Topic. Come and check us out. We'll have a new setup of different people, or it's the same people. I don't know. My name is Kevin Lyons. I'm on Twin Pines Video on Instagram and on Twitter.
I'm Chuck. I'm at Chad Rodwell 12, Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Minnie, and I'm at That Guy 2022 on Instagram only.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Why don't you go back to the Library of Alexandretta, you asshole?
Library.
Yeah, I fucking will. And I'll fucking learn everything, and I'll be the smartest fucking man on the planet.
Yeah. How you gonna
Boom,
learn everything?
bitches.
None of it's in English. All right, everybody. We'll
fucking
check you out
learn
next time. We'll check you out next time.